Hello everybody, this is ManuS and welcome to another Eternal News episode. We got yet another official spoiler article, spoiler news from Direwolf directly with something a lot of people I think have been waiting for. Let's dive right in. Alright, so we're getting some new power cards, new non-basic power basically that has some utility, some little inbuilt flood protection basically. They are called Waystones. They basically work exactly the same way as sigils, except they aren't sigils, so they are not searchable with sigil searches, like sigil draw, and they do not help make seeds enter the play ready. But other than that, they're just undepleted single color power sources with a nice threshold upside. So let's take a look. First off, we have Granite Waystone. All of the Waystones basically provide one influence of their color, and once you hit 4 influence of that color, they trigger an effect. So it's also nice to see that there's power, that there will be power in the game that can do things while they are in play, because before that wasn't clear, because the transmute thing transmuted in your hand and so on. So these actually just are hidden in your power section and start doing stuff once the threshold is met. So it's it's becoming more important basically to keep an eye on your own and the opposing power section to get an idea what potential hidden value they might have coming up. So here we get a 1/1 Grenadin, pretty decent, like getting a 1/1 from a power source is pretty powerful actually. This is pretty appealing. You have to keep in mind though that the negative effect on seeds is nothing to sneeze at, but yeah, Grenadin's becoming more and more relevant with the new cards as well, so this is one of the best Waystones, I would say, pretty sweet one. Next we have Ember Waystone. This is easily the worst, I think, just gains you 2 health. The one context where this is actually great is Life Force, so this is actually a really great card. With the Life Force cards, that's the only thing that keeps it from being like pretty bad, because yeah, triggering Life Force with your power cards in addition to like your Varus favors is amazing. You can basically play like Ember Waystones and Varus favors and then have a ton of built-in incremental power sources, Life Force triggers for various good Life Force cards. It also makes it easier to put like a good Life Force card in a deck without going full on Life Force. So the card is like deceptively better than it seems, but only in a Life Force context. Without Life Force, this is easily the worst. Next we have Emerald Waystone. This gains you 1 armor. That also gives us an idea how much more valuable armor is compared to health, even though both is effective health, but we get half the armor than we get health, which makes sense because extra armor is extremely potent for weapons, especially if it doesn't cost you any like power like Roland's Favor. Being able to just drop this and say drop a Daisho on 6, gaining 4 justice in the process, and basically making your Daisho one bigger in terms of armor can be super critical. This is a pretty good one. It's about on par with Ember Waystone. I think it's just a little bit better in the sense that there's a bit more weapons and they're a bit like wider spread, and the impact on weapons is a bit more universal compared to time, especially also because the Green Monument is weaker than the Time Monument. In a lot of cases you rather have Time Monument than Time Waystone, and it's hard to have both, especially when you're playing seeds and stuff. But yeah, it's still a decent card with some neat utility. Next we have a really nice one. I mean, it's a bit situational, you don't want a ton of these, but that's perfect because you kind of don't want a ton of these anyway, because they interfere with your seeds and so on, and there's always monuments to compete with those as well. But yeah, this is a really nice alternate way to gain Aegis, because sometimes you can't afford to run Islands Favor, sometimes Island Favor is just a bit too clunky, and being able to just jam 1 or 2 Cobalt Waystone into your primal base deck is pretty sweet. Like I could easily see Chalice wanting 1 or 2 of these if you can manage with your seeds and stuff, just as like an incremental value. Like I could easily see at least running like 1 in Chalice, for example, and there's a couple of other decks where this comes in handy. Like this is pretty nice alongside Island's Favors in Falcon Control, for example, because the deck really has a ton of seed enablers. It also is not that fast, so playing your seeds early on depleted is not a big deal anyway, but playing more Island's Favor is awkward, both because they don't count towards your actual power count, so you would kind of flood out because you need some Seek powers as well, and also because then eventually your power becomes just too slow. But being able to play like 2 Islands Favor, 1 or 2 Islands Favor, and a couple of Waystones, or even 0 Favor now and going up to 4 Seek confidently, and then just jamming 2 or 3 Cobalt Waystone is pretty sweet. The one downside is if you have 2 Cobalt Waystones out and you reach 4 Primal, they both trigger, so 1 is wasted. But I mean, it's kind of the same with Eileen's Favor, because if you want the power, you have to waste the Aegis. Here you kind of have the same situation. One downside, I guess, is this is a late game Aegis. Like one difference is this is a late game Aegis. Island's Favor is an early game Aegis. So a mix is probably appropriate. I could see like just sticking with the usual 2 Islands Favor and adding like 1 or 2 Waystones to have Aegis more often, especially later in the game, to not like get burned out or get gifted or something. Card is really sweet and great utility because it's like in a good color and fits well into certain decks. And last but not least, we have Amethyst Waystone. This one causes Nightfall. Bit skeptical here. Nightfall is a symmetrical effect. The opponent gets the benefit first. Sure, it also deals damage. This is quite a narrow Waystone, I would say, but it can actually be really powerful in a Nightfall-centric deck that gets enough benefits from Nightfall and better leverages the advantage that Nightfall creates for both players. But yeah, this might actually, given what I said earlier, might actually be the worst Waystone. I might be wrong on the Ember one. Like the Life Force implications of the Ember one are just really, really good. Getting free Life Force triggers is huge. Free in cards and free in power cost. And yeah, Nightfall might just be the most situational and both in decks that want it and also in how good it is in a given situation. When you're behind, this can be very dangerous. You might not even be able to play your Force Shadow Source when you're behind with this out, because otherwise you might just seal your fate. So we really have to see how Nightfall ends up playing out and how good it is to see how playable this card is. But yeah, if there's a Nightfall-centric deck, like some Faln, aggro tempo kind of deck that leverages Nightfall enough, then this Waystone might be what the deck wants. So that's pretty nice. There's another like sweet thing implied here that I'm getting to at the end. But first we get another legendary spoiler, and it's another dinosaur. It's a pretty good dinosaur. It's a 6/7 for 5 with Overwhelm, and it's a dinosaur. So it has great stat to cost ratio. Overwhelm makes it really annoying. 7 health means it's really hard to kill and blocks basically everything the turn it comes down. It costs triple time, so you definitely have to be heavy in time, but you kind of want to be that anyway because of Carnosaur and stuff. And this effectively guarantees you your 6 power, or if you already have a 6 power, ramps you from 5 to 7, which is also pretty sweet. And yeah, when it attacks, play 1 random power card from your deck, then increase the ability by 1. So then it ramps you from 7 to 9 or 10, depending if you have a natural power drop or not. Also keep in mind that the power is played, it's a random power, so it can hit anything, so it can also randomly fix your influence hugely. And also the power is not depleted. Unless it is actually depleted. Like if you fetch a seed and don't have a sigil in play, I'm pretty sure it's going to be depleted. But banners are not going to be depleted, they're going to be ready because you have the Behemoth in play, and so on and so forth. and it can't fetch monuments because by the time this is out, monuments are already transmuted. So it only fetches stuff. It can also like fetch waystones for some utility. It seems like there's gonna be a 5-drop in each color that requires triple influence and has one of these abilities that tick up. We saw the green one already, we saw the black one, and now we saw the white one, or like the purple and the yellow one, depending on how you want to look at it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have not seen the primal one or the fire one yet, but unless I forgot them, but I think we haven't. So this seems to be a cycle, so there's 2 more to look forward to, and they all seem pretty powerful, so I would assume the ones we haven't seen yet are also going to be pretty impactful and strong for constructed, some of the staple legendaries of the set, so to speak. But there's one nice implication here. It says it's grabbing all kinds of power cards from your deck: sigils, banners, crests, and waystones. We have yet to see what crests are. So it seems like we're gonna get another non-basic power card that is not yet revealed, because we haven't seen any crests as far as I know. And I'm curious what the crest's gonna be. I wonder if the crest's gonna be like some kind of tri-faction non-basics, or if they're gonna be like some kind of 2-faction thing. I mean, crests are a bit similar to banners in a way. I mean, the banner is like the banner of the alliance, and the crest is like the symbol of the alliance. Like crest, if I'm not mistaken, are like the logo, the symbol, the thing of the alliance. So I would assume these are like 2-faction non-basics in each of the alliance combinations, doing something for them, like color fixing or whatever, or utility, we'll see. But it's pretty nice to like get this hint here. Pretty sure that was intentional to kind of tease it for the more observant people, so that's pretty sweet. Okay, that's it again for today's spoiler. Not a ton of cards, but pretty exciting news. Finally getting to see some spell type effect, non-basic power cards, and another pretty sweet legendary. The set is drawing closer and closer. The event is out. We get to try some of the new cards. So if you want to watch me play the event, talk about the new cards, feel free to join me on my stream. I try to stream as much as possible in the next coming days. And yeah, you can find all the information on my social media and Twitch down in the description underneath the video. So follow me everywhere to not miss anything in the future. If you enjoyed the video, like it down below, and turn on this and subscribe and turn on the notifications to not miss any future content. And that's it once again for this Eternal News episode. I'm Manu S. Thanks for watching. I'm out. Bye.